Do you lose your temper? What do you do to find it? For me, that phrase is such an interesting one. When somebody is raging, upset, and unhappy, we say they lost their temper. I feel that what we should be saying is they let go of their grip on their temper because they didn't lose it. It's very, very much there. The rage and the anger inside of them, the frustration, the irritation is absolutely present. It hasn't got lost. What do you feel about this? Well, let me tell you, I work very hard actually, I don't work very hard. I have an awareness of remaining calm and cool. I use many tools with it. And when I'm triggered, I normally stop and say, what tool could I use here? Where can I go with this? What can I do to create more with this? Well, people, last week, I thoroughly, totally, unequivocally release the hold I have on the rage, the anger, and the hurt from an incident that happened. I was part of a group and I was showing up and doing what I could do within the capacity of my time, my knowledge, and my understanding of the group. Yes, things shifted and changed. I just didn't get the memo. Well, I may have got the memo, I didn't read it. I did lose the memo. But the result is, I was told I had better shape up or ship out. Well, I seriously, seriously released the control on my inner volcano, if we can put it to that way. And for the first time in many, many years, I had a flat out panic attack. Not only did that happen, and it wasn't even a panic attack because I was able to rein it in. And luckily, somebody came in. They said, I just had a feeling you required a sympathetic ear. And people, I hadn't said anything, I hadn't done anything. So I was very grateful to this person who came in and was the distraction from thoroughly, thoroughly having a complete and total meltdown. What happened after that was I went and I looked at what's the trigger, where's the healing, what is the wholeness being asking to come forward. I worked on that, I picked up the pen, I journaled and I burned, and I allowed myself to be myself, and I allowed myself to be the shadow side of myself. And guess what? I got to also choose to own that I have a shadow side, that I do have a side that can be hurt, that I do have a side that can be angry, feel grief, and absolutely rage before I rein it in and allow myself to say, that was just a very interesting point of view, Janine, that you chose to react rather than respond. The upshot of it was I was able to help several people afterwards who had been having similar experiences in that week. And I went, okay, because I remember so many times when my children were smaller, they would go through something, and then I would get to be able to help other mommies and clients with how I dealt with it, with the research I had done, with the aromatherapy oils I used, with the herbs that I used, with the tissue salts that I had used, with the glycan technology later on that came my way that I used. So for me, it was to look back at this and say, you know what, all you had to do was look at it. You didn't have to release your grip on that shadow side. And yet, when I look back, yes, I did, because that was actually what helped me to help my clients and the people who came across my path own that it's okay to see your shadow side, that maybe in that moment it's okay to work in your shadow side, knowing that we're human. We are having an experience here. And when we are able to turn that experience around, we can help others to do the same. The upshot of it is I then got to do something that for me was very difficult. I got to say, you know what? Thank you very much. I have done what I can do in this community. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate the lesson. and I was able to let go and say goodbye. I worked through the feelings of guilt that possibly I'm allowing myself to let people down, that I am giving up, and the shame and the guilt that came forward that, oh my goodness, you're a quitter, Janine. When I looked at the shadow side and I said, thank you so much for coming forward. Thank you. I appreciate you, ego. And now I choose to be in my power and in my strength. And my power and my strength is not waking up with a ball of anxiety in the morning, performance anxiety as to how I show up to please other people. Because for many of us, especially at this time, we get into people pleasing. And that people pleasing has a cost. It costs us energetically, it costs us with our authenticity, and it costs us in our creativity. Because then we start creating to please other people rather than creating with who we are, what is aligned with our core values, and what is aligned with our mission. Have you had this experience where you step out of alignment with who you are and what you are doing to make other people feel more comfortable? Yes, it is a truth. It is a reality. And I'm actually very appreciative of it happening. I'm not quite yet grateful for it happening. And I am in appreciation for it happening because it allowed me to add value to my life. And I have set the intention that it adds value to the people's lives that I was interacting with, that they may be able to expand and grow in their strength and power. And when I work with clients, I share things like this with them so that they can understand that, yes, we may have all the tools in the world. We may be choosing to be conscious. We may be choosing to be present. We may be choosing to be aware. We also get to choose to recognize, own, and integrate our shadow side, because our shadow side is what then actually helps us to fuel our mission and our light side. It's the balance. It's coming into that balance. It's coming into owning where was the wounded and masculine and feminine energy? What do we get to choose to do to clear it? And can we work with somebody like Janine to do that clearing? Because as we do that clearing, we come into the divine balance of masculine and feminine energy. We get to own our shadow side. So, like a nagging child, it can be silenced. It can be there to have fun, to have joy, to have pleasure. And it's in doing this that we own our power and we grow and we expand. So, if you would like help, reach out. Let me come to your assistance, because let me tell you, I know how to bounce back from a shadow side aspect. And remember, losing your temper is one thing. Releasing your control and regaining it is another thing. Choose to enjoy expansion and step into your success as you access the wonderful, incredible adventure that your life is, can be, and that will bring you the incredible joy of experience, growth, and expansion. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Bye bye.